Hello guys, welcome back to Tap Sac. Today we're going to talk about the new set Wilds of Eldraine. The pre-release event is just this weekend, so we're going to talk about how to play a pre-release event if you haven't, and what is the format that goes along with it. But before we get into that, I just wanted to share the winners from our past video. Each of these two players will get a Commander Masters Draft Booster Pack, so look out for comments on YouTube. Alright, let's see what we have here from Wizards of the Coast. It looks like a very big book, like a fairy tale. Let's open it up. And inside we have a nice card, Wilds of Eldraine, like a poster. In the back, nicely written poem. Take a look. Okay, so let's talk about pre-release events. A pre-release is a sneak preview for a new set release, and in this case we're using Wilds of Eldraine as an example. The pre-release usually happens 1 week before the official release and typically lasts for at least 1 weekend. So pre-release events are always played in a format called sealed. So what is sealed? It's called sealed because everybody builds a deck from the sealed packs of randomized cards, and each player gets 6 packs, and you can only build a deck from those cards. Basic lands can be added outside of those packs, so you don't have to worry about having enough lands. So these PR kits are designed for the sealed format, and they all have the same contents. This is the inside of your pre-release kit. So when you open it up, what you get is everyone gets a dice, and then we have 6 packs, and what's special in the PR kit is a promo foil, which is inside a plastic wrapper. So everybody gets a different card, and usually we hope for something valuable like a mythic rare or something good for the format. So in this case we got Gruff Triplets. The deck building is more complicated because you can only build your deck from the cards in these 6 packs and including your promo foil. So because we don't know what's inside these packs, they could be very good or they could be a mess of random cards. So what we got to do is we got to open them up and start to look through all of them. Alright, so what I usually do is to arrange the cards by color to just get a sense of how many cards I have available in each color, and then later on I will go through them one by one and then start to build the deck. So just sort them by color. I'm not even really reading them that much, just a quick survey of them. So draft booster packs are split up pretty evenly by color, but you will find that some colors have more cards than the others. Lands I will put in their own column. We've got blue, white, green. So we've got quite a few blues. Artifacts will also go into their own column. Oh, and our rare is Lord Skitter's Blessing. So this is an enchantment. When added to the battlefield, create a Wicked Roll token. So this is a new mechanic for this set only. And then put it onto a target creature you control. At the beginning of your draw step, if you control an enchanted creature, lose 1 life and draw an additional card. So not bad, you get additional draw. And Dragon Mantle is our Enchanting Tales special card. This set is known for a special insert for each pack. So you're going to get extra powerful cards in this set. So just make sure that whatever set you're playing pre-release in, of what additional cards you might be able to get. So Dragon Mantle is an aura. It can buff your creatures. Pretty good. And then lands and tokens can be put one side. Alright, so that was our first pack. Our rare was decent. And we're going to do the same. I'm going to just split them by color. I've never seen these cards before, so there's going to be a lot of reading later. Adventure mechanic is back. Ego Drain, and our rare is Twinning Twins, a blue creature with adventure. So basically you get 2 cards for 1. You get an instant that you can cast first, and then after that you can cast this creature. So this card I think is pretty strong. You get double effect and the creature is pretty good. 4 mana, 4/4 flying and vigilance. So it's definitely something we have to keep note that blue has one of our strong rares. Our enchantment is Spreading Seas. It's okay, it's pretty good if you play blue. And we have a foil rare, Goblin Bombardment. So this is actually part of the special enchantment insert. It's a reprint, Goblin Bombardment. So to see this in rare and the foil is pretty nice. And then we have, this is the roll card. Alright, on to pack 3. Again, just sorting by color. So far, remember we've got one pretty good blue rare. And I'm not sure what the others are yet, but we will see soon enough. Rare is Restless Spire. So this is the land cycle for this deck. This is a borderless art version, so nice pull. Even if you don't play it, you can come to play tap, you can tap for blue or red, and you can also pay mana to convert it into a creature. And whenever it attacks, scry 1. So actually pretty nice. Season of Growth with our enchantment. It's uncommon only. So pretty good. When enchantment creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. So these special inserts, the Enchanting Tales, is going to make the power level a little higher just because they are reprints of powerful enchantments. So this set is going to be a little bit more difficult to play in pre-release, but for other sets, if they don't have special inserts, then power level is going to be lower. Alright, Tangle Lookout, uncommon, Ash Party Crasher. Rare is a Red Cap Gutter Dweller. 4 mana, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 rats, can't block. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Dweller and exile top card of library. You play this card this turn. Wow. So actually a lot of things going on with this guy, which is pretty good. Oh, Land Tax. This is our enchantment for white. It's a very good card in Commander. It's a mythic rare and actually worth some money. So whenever you're opening packs in pre-release, you also want to open money cards because you can always sell them in the future. So opening one like Land Tax, which has some value, is definitely good. And we have a foil uncommon. This is a Saga. Create a curse roll token, scry 2, and then you may copy a spell with mana value 3 or less. Full art land, nice. Alright, only down to 2 packs left, but so far I think I'm seeing where our colors might be, just based on the rares, but not the commons and uncommons. So let's just sort these out. Scarecrow Guide. And a rare is not yet. Here it is, the Iron Crag. It's a 2 mana rock. Tap for colorless. And whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can turn this into equipment and then give the equipped creature +3/+3. So pretty good. I mean, at least it will be useful in other formats like Commander. Not so sure about Sealed yet. We'll see. Shared Animosity is our rare enchantment. This is also in the showcase frame, which I forgot to mention. There also is anime art versions of these cards, but I think not in draft booster packs. So yeah, I mean, still getting a Shared Animosity, which is a nice reprint, is very good. Alright, we are down to our last pack. So many new cards. It's got a lot of reading to do. Our rare is Questing Druid. Wow, with an adventure on the red side. So if you cast the adventure, it's exile top 2 cards of the library, and until your next end step you play those cards. That's very good. And then you can cast a creature. Whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black or red, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Woo. And Hatching Plans is our enchantment. Is this gonna be useful? If you put in a graveyard from your battlefield, draw 3 cards. You must have a way to sacrifice it, I guess. Alright, so I've looked through all of the cards. Basically what I'm looking for is cards with double effects. That means they don't just do one thing, they can do maybe 2 things or 3 things throughout the game. That gives you more value as you play in a sealed format, and that will help you to win. I was also looking for cards that can remove opponent's threats, such as burn spells or destroy spells, or basically some cards that can lock them, preventing them from attacking or blocking. And then I'm also looking for big creatures that can be strong finishers in the game, because if you want to win, you have to have a strategy to basically get the opponent down to 0 life, and usually a big creature is the one that does it. And lastly, I was looking out for synergy between the keywords. So in Wilds of Eldraine, the keywords would be the new bargain, which is where you sacrifice something to get an additional effect, and also the return of adventure mechanic, which is where you can cast one side of the spell first and then cast the creature side later on. So this also falls into what I said earlier about having double effects. So maybe I'll just run through some of the more powerful cards that I found in our colors. So in blue, our rare is Twinning Twins. Very strong, it has double effect. It can bounce, it can blink a creature to get an additional benefit for you. And then you can also cast a creature side, which is very strong. The problem is that you have to be playing blue and white to play this card, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Quick Study is a pretty good card, 3 mana, and you can draw 2 cards. Basically gives you an extra card, and you can cast this as an instant, so you can always wait till the opponent's end turn where you cast this. Chancellor of Tales, also very relevant in this set because it's a flying creature which is hard to evade. 4 mana, 2/3 stats is okay, but when you cast an adventure spell you may copy it, so getting copies or double effects of anything in a sealed format is going to go a long way to helping you. So this is one of the stronger cards in blue. For white, we didn't really have many strong cards. I mean, Land Tax is a good ram card that can get you more lands, but otherwise it doesn't really do anything. And then the rest of the cards I felt were just quite mediocre. You can put them all together and then still play a decent aggressive deck, but it didn't really have as much synergy as I felt with the other colors, and no so-called like big strong finishers or removal spells. Alright, in green we have one of our rares, which is Questing Druid. Again, an adventure card. This time is green and red, so if you want to make full use of him, you have to be playing these 2 colors, but he's still considered a good card. The other good card I felt was this Lookout. Is whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So drawing cards is very important in basically any format, and I think it's going to be quite easy to get an aura enter the battlefield because you have the roll mechanic here. So if you can draw 1 or 2 extra cards from this trigger, that's going to be very useful. And then we have our Enchanting Tales, Season of Growth. This is pretty good because you can always scry 1 whenever a creature enters the battlefield, or if you cast a spell such as an aura that targets one of your creatures, you draw a card. So again, this is basically card advantage, which is going to be very good. We also have our promo foil, which is the green card, so we could put it in under green. But just bear in mind, with 3 green in the casting cost, it's going to be hard to cast if you're playing 3 colors. So still, it might be good to consider. So we got a strong enchantment here with Lord Skitter's Blessing. You create a roll, and then you can draw an additional card but lose 1 life if you control an enchanted creature during your upkeep. So I consider this a pretty good card. And then we have another rat here, the Vermin. When it enters the battlefield, create a black-red token, and whenever another creature control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on the Vermin. We've got another strong enchantment here. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and lose 2 life. So for just 1 mana, that's pretty good. And then if you somehow manage to just sacrifice it either by paying mana or through the bargain mechanic, you get to scry 2. So a lot of things here, and that's why it's a good card. This is an example of a removal spell. 2 mana, you get to give a creature -3/-3, and if you do bargain by sacrificing an artifact, creature, or token, then that creature gets -5/-5 instead. So black generally has, I feel, the best removal spells always in any set. So black is always a color that I'm looking out for. And let's go to red. So our red rare is the 3/3 menace creature that I was telling you about, and you get to create 2 black 1/1 tokens, rat tokens. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this, and also exile the top card of your library, which you can play it this turn. So a lot of value here. This might be the best general rare in this PR kit that I think I would want to play. Again, another adventure card, so a 2/1, also creates red tokens, and it gets first strike on your turn. Shared Animosity, I think is pretty good. I'll explain why, because whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. So if we're going to be playing rats, we could give all our rats a very big buff. Alright, so looking at the cards, it's actually quite tricky to pick. A lot of cards are spread out, good cards are spread out among different colors. Usually you either find that 1 or 2 colors have the best cards, or maybe no colors have good cards. But in this PR kit, it's actually pretty decently spread out. That's how I feel. And then what I see is that there is some rat synergy here in black and red. There are quite a number of cards here that take advantage of rats, or they're rats themselves. So what I'm thinking is to play black-red. And so when I'm building a deck, I usually aim for 2 colors, but it's not uncommon for players to choose 3 or 4 colors, because you may not have enough cards to actually build a deck with only 2 colors. In this case, we might have enough for black and red, just for black and red. So, and if not, we could just splash 1 color, basically an additional color in green, which also has strong rares. So splashing means just having 1 or 2 cards of a 3rd color or an additional color, and then just having a few lands of that color to go into your deck. Alright, so if you're trying to build black and red, what I usually do is to pick out the cards that are good, and I'll sort them by casting costs. So basically, this is a 4, this is a 3, and this is a 2, and then I'll just arrange accordingly. So this is the final deck that I've built. So remember, our goal is to hit 40 cards, including our lands. So we generally split 23 non-land cards and then 17 land cards. So we have 23 cards here. I went with the black and red colors, but I decided to splash a little bit on green, which meant I added 2 cards in green. So this is our final deck that I've built. Remember, we are aiming for 40 cards total in our deck. We have 23 non-land cards and then 17 land cards. So I went with the black and red as planned, but then after thinking about it, decided to add a couple of green cards, strong green cards, as our splash color. So this deck basically has a lot of different ways to play. It tries to get roll cards into the battlefield, and if you have the lookout on the battlefield, you will draw more cards, and that will help you cast even more things and get a hit. I also have lots of adventure cards, so these cards give you 2-for-1 value. There are quite a number of them in this deck. So basically you want to cast the adventure side first and then cast the creature side later, so you're basically getting the most out of your cards. So for example, for Hearth Elemental, you can cast Stroke Genius, discard your hand, draw 2 cards, maybe in the late game, get some value, and then later on spend 6 mana to cast a 4/5 creature, and even cost less, so you're basically getting more value out of this. And then, as I mentioned, we also have our rat synergy. We have cards that can create rat tokens like Voracious Vermin or Red Cap Gutter Dweller. So the more rats you have are pretty good for attacking, although they can't block, and you can also use the rats as sacrifice fodder, either for bargain cards or for the dwellers of same ability. In your upkeep, you can sacrifice a rat token and put a +1/+1 counter on the dweller, and also exile the top card of your library. So a lot of value there. We don't have that many bargain cards. I think we only have 2. One is Candy Grapple, which gives a bigger removal, -5/-5, and then High Fey Negotiator, which will drain the opponent for 3 life and you gain 3 life. So that can be significant actually. So it's always good to have roll cards or tokens that you can sacrifice to bargain. And that's the reason why we also have Goblin Bombardment. I added this in instead of Shared Animosity, because we have quite a number of different creature types, and I felt that Shared Animosity will not trigger as much as I would like. But Goblin Bombardment, you can always sacrifice the rat tokens or any other creature to deal that last 1 damage to the opponent. So that's why we put Goblin Bombardment in. If there's one thing that this deck is lacking, I think it's removal spells. We really don't have that many removal spells. I think the best we have is really the one with Bargain that gives -5/-5, which is Candy Grapple. Other than that, we do have a burn spell, Cut In, that deals 4 damage to target creature. But other than that, really we're going to have trouble dealing with big threats that the opponent might cast. They might have big mythic rare creatures or flying creatures that we can't deal with. So the game plan for this deck would be to just go fast, cast a lot of rolls, gain more value, and then deal more damage than the opponent. Alright, I hope that gave you a good understanding of the sealed format and how to play in a pre-release event. It's going to be a little tough the first time going in because everything's new and deck building is going to be slow, so you might not be able to see the synergies as well, but with more practice you'll be able to get it. We're also going to be doing some giveaways for this video as well. We'll give away some draft packs for Wilds of Eldraine. So do subscribe and leave a comment telling us what colors you would have played. Maybe I missed out on some strong cards in the other colors, and maybe they are very good in sealed, and let us know what you would have done. You can also check out our website at tapandsac.com for more strategy articles on Magic the Gathering. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you guys at the next game.